All right, I just want to show you really quick how to set up all of the asset packs in here properly, put them into the asset library so it's easy to use. The way you do this is pretty simple, but I'll just show you how to do it in case you're not familiar with the asset browser. So when you get the course, it'll look something like this. This page might look slightly different by the time you get it, but it'll be the same layout where we've got this thumbnail right here for downloads and resources, and also you can just click on the sidebar over here. That'll take you to the same spot. Where you find these is in the downloads and resources section. There's going to be one of the lessons here just labeled asset packs. You just click that. It'll take you to this page here. And then you can join the Discord here if you want. So this will work the exact same way for the fantasy asset pack, the sci-fi asset pack, and the photoscans pack. It's all the same, but I'll just use this one here, the fantasy one, for the demo. So you just hit download right here. That'll take you to this page. You'll see the fantasy asset pack and a text file. Just download the fantasy asset pack. You can read the text one if you want, and then hit download. Okay, so once it's downloaded, just take the downloaded blend file and then put it into whichever file your asset browser is going to read, whichever folder your browser is going to read. If you don't know how to do that, I will show you that right now. But so here's where I'm going to paste mine. So I just took the blend file right here, fantasy asset pack file v3. I took that blend file, pasted it into this folder. So for me, it's data, Blender renders, assets, scenes. The reason I'm putting it into this folder is because I have set this folder in my asset browser in Blender to read from there. And I'll show you how to do that right now if you're not sure. So I'll open up Blender and I'll show you how to do this. Actually, let me just open up the fantasy asset pack so I can show you. It doesn't matter if you open it through this file or not. You just need to go into preferences and I'll show you how to do that. So let's go in Blender, edit, preferences, go down to file paths, and then at the very bottom where it says asset libraries, all we need to do is just create, if you don't already have a folder for all of the models that you want to use in your asset browser, just create a folder right now. So for me, I already have one right here. For me, it's D drive, Blender renders, assets, scenes. So I think this is a automatically generated folder when you get Blender. If it isn't, just make a folder anywhere on your computer, call it models or scenes or whatever you want. And then anytime you download any models, including this pack right here, you just paste it into that folder. So anything in that folder, even subfolders, will be read by the asset browser. You just have to tell it where it is. So in this case, for me, Blender renders assets, that scenes folder is where I'm telling it to read from. So I already have it in here. I don't need to add a new one. If you don't have it in here, you just click the plus and navigate to where you want it. Okay. So just remember this location here, Blender renders, assets, scenes, for me, for this example. Now what I'm going to do is I've now pasted my blend file that I downloaded, this one right here, fantasy asset pack final v3. I've pasted that file into that folder that I was just talking about in my asset browser. So this PC, D, Blender renders, assets, scenes. That scenes folder is where I'm going to put all of my models, anything I download or anything I make. I'll just put it all into this one big pile. And then the asset browser will read all of that from there. So if you don't do that, your asset browser won't be able to read across different blend files. It'll just be stuck locally in one single file. But if you do it this way, you put the file into one of the places where your asset browser reads from. Then anytime you start a new project or you open up any blend file, you'll be able to drag and drop any of these into it. That's just if you don't know how to use it. So if you're already familiar with how to use and set up the asset browser, you don't need to worry about any of that because you've already done this. But if you don't, that's how. Anyways, once you've put the blend file in a location where your browser can read it, just open it up. So here it is, open. All you want to do to get these in the browser is select everything. That'll highlight everything in the outliner over here. All you do is just right click any one of these. As long as everything is selected, it doesn't matter which one you right click. And then all you do is hit this button right here, mark as asset. So I'll just do that. We'll just, I guess it's already done on mine, so I'll just clear asset and then redo it. Mark as asset. So there you go. Once you press mark as asset with everything selected, it'll just do that for all of them all at once. It's now in the browser, but the thing is, it still cannot read this across blend files. So if I were to just start a new blend file right now, I would not be able to take these and use them. All you have to do is just select all of these things in here and then just make a new folder anywhere in here, or just use one of the ones you have for models already. But I like to keep it organized, so I'll just do a new test here. So underneath any of these folders, you just hit the plus, And then you can just rename this to, let's do Fantasy Pack Demo. So that's now a folder here. So I can just select all of these in my unassigned and then assign it to that thing right there. So Fantasy Pack Demo, drop it in, boom, and we're good. Fully done. That's all you need to do. Just save it. And then anytime you go to a new file, let's test it out right now, that should be in there. So if I just go to Objects, Fantasy Pack Demo, this one right here, there it is. Everything's in here, good to go. You just drag and drop it in and it's fully done. Comes with, should be textures and all. And there we go. It's set up. And so the same thing applies to the two other packs. You just download it, make a folder in here somewhere. I like to just have one big folder with a bunch of subfolders where just all of my models go. And then anytime I just put any blend file in that scenes folder, it's able to just read it across different blend files, if that makes sense. So that's how you do it. So just to summarize really quick, download the blend file, put it into a folder, make sure your asset browser can read that folder. You do that by going to Preferences, File Paths, and then just right click, mark as asset for everything all at once. Organize this however you want, call it whatever you want, and then you're done. So I explained it in kind of a long way in this video. I promise that when you actually do it, it's very easy. It'll take like 1 minute and then you're done. That's it. And let's get on with the rest of these.